Hello, I'm Chris Casey.
And I'm Kristen Lagana. Welcome to Arundel County Week in Review. In this episode, we'll tell you about a great piece of history left behind by George Washington, and we'll preview the 4th annual 5K for the Bay. But first, making headlines this week. Break out your dictionaries, people. The spelling bee is here. The season of spelling begins tomorrow in Annapolis, where 28 students will compete for the chance to enter the Scripps National Spelling Bee in May. 6th, 7th, and 8th graders include 11 private school students, 16 public school students, and 1 homeschooler. Now, the words to be spelled are top secret, so the competition at 10 a.m. on Saturday, February 28th, will not be televised. You can attend the War of Words in person, though. It will be held at Anne Arundel County Public Schools headquarters, located at 2644 Riva Road in Annapolis. We will be sure to fill you in on who took home top honors and who will compete against the top spellers in Washington, D.C. Now, this is a really big deal, Chris. The later rounds are broadcast on ESPN. That's incredible. Our research department went through the records back to 1925 and determined that there's never been a national champion from Maryland. So maybe there will be this year.
Maybe.
How do you spell victory, Chris?
Can I buy a vowel? V-I-C-T-O-R-Y.
Yay! High five.
All right, there we go. That and $2 will get you a cup of coffee anywhere you go. February is Black History Month, and there are activities going on all around the county to educate people about Martin Luther King, Frederick Douglass, and other great leaders. Here locally, there is a great place to learn about the civil rights era and beyond right in downtown Annapolis. We caught up with County Executive Steve Shue and Maryland House of Delegates Speaker Mike Bush as they toured the Banneker-Douglass Museum right here in Annapolis. Let's take a look.
The Banneker-Douglass Museum is Maryland's official museum of African American history in our state. It is a wonderful institution located in a historic church that was at one time visited by Frederick Douglass himself. In its current incarnation as a museum, it's celebrated over 30 years of educating our citizens about African American history and the diversity of our nation, and we look forward to many decades more.
When you come back here, certainly for me and my generation, it brings a lot of things back. I remember with the segregated beaches, and Carr's Beach, Sparrows Beach, Bay Ridge Beach for the whites. The African Americans went to Carr's and Sparrows. But even as a young high school student, I mean, we loved James Brown and some of the other entertainers who would come down to Sparrows Beach, and you could hear the sound of the music coming across the water in the summertime. And it was something we all enjoyed together. I mean, it was a different community at the time, but there was still a lot of interaction between the African American community and the white community. A lot of it was brought about by sports in that area, and I was very fortunate to have a coach named Roger Pittmoyer who encouraged the interplay between African Americans and whites. It's part of history, part of what makes up this community, and I think that if you're going to have a better understanding of the community and what it is today, I think you have to go back and take a glimpse at the past.
The museum is located at 84 Franklin Street in Annapolis. There are 2 special exhibits for Black History Month, including Hometown Teams, How Sport Shaped America, and Untold Stories, Athletes of Maryland's 4 historically black colleges and universities. The museum is open from Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. For more information, you can go to www.bdmuseum.maryland.gov.
And speaking of visiting websites, please take a second to help us out with a little project. Anne Arundel County is doing a complete makeover of its website, www.aacounty.org. The site will be completely transformed by next fall, but as we begin, we could really use your help. Please go to the homepage and click on the banner that says, "How are we doing?" That will take you to a short survey asking for feedback about our website. The goal is to make sure it's not only attractive and user-friendly, but also for customers to be able to quickly access the information and services they need. And here's a little tip. If you want to see the best of the best, slap a backslash on that URL and type in waste management to take you to the land of recycling, of course, Chris.
Always a shameless advocate for recycling, but we love you for it.
I'm not guilty.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'm guilty.
And like we said, I'm going to say it every time until we step up our game. My folks up in North County, we got to recycle more.
I believe in you. I believe.
She believes in us. We can do it. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk to Molly Mullins about the 4th annual 5K for the Bay. Take a look at our community calendar for events around town. Don't go away because we'll be right back.
Check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. Got it. No?
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. Joining us on the show this week, we have Molly Mullins, Director of Communications for Chesapeake Bay Trust. Molly, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And can you tell us a bit about Chesapeake Bay Trust, your goals, what it is that you do?
Of course. The Chesapeake Bay Trust, we are a nonprofit organization. We're based in Annapolis, but we fund projects throughout Maryland that help the Chesapeake Bay, that help improve communities, that get kids outside. Our job is to take dollars that we get from the Treasure of the Chesapeake license plate, we get it from a tax checkoff, and we dole that back out into the community to help people improve their environment.
That's great. And I have a Bay license plate. Do you?
I don't. I need to get one.
I won't judge you for that.
Shame on you.
It's only $20. You can get it online. It's very easy.
He'll do it tomorrow, I promise. Well, those all sound like great initiatives. And tell us a bit about the 5K. This is 5K for the Bay. And this is your 4th year. So what kind of notices of growth have you noticed since the first year?
We started the first annual 5K for the Bay, and we had about 250 registrants. We were really surprised that we had that many come out for the first year. We hold it at Quiet Waters Park, which, as you all know, is a beautiful resource we have here in Arundel County. And it's just grown exponentially since then. Last year, we sold out with about 650 runners.
Wow.
And we were a little nervous. It's a lot to manage, but everyone had so much fun. We raised about $20,000 for the projects that we fund. And it's a great time to get out. You get good exercise, you get to be with your family and friends, and you get to do something for a good cause.
Wow.
So it's not just running, too. You've got some other stuff going on that day.
Absolutely. You can walk the 5K if you'd like, or run it. It's a 3.1-mile course. We have teamed up with some great sponsors. The Chesapeake Bay Roasting Company is a premier coffee company here in Anne Arundel County.
Yes.
They are donating coffee. Buffalo Wild Wings is a sponsor of ours. They're donating wings to all of our runners. Panera, Wegmans are donating bagels and granola bars, so there'll be lots to choose from.
Oh, wow.
We have a DJ. There's a park and playground right next door for the kids. And then we also have the SPCA there that'll have all their adoptable animals if you want to take a little friend home.
Oh, that's so cute.
We like to work with other nonprofits in the community to do good work.
That's great.
So.
Can you bring your dog to the race?
You can.
Okay.
Dogs, we want them on a leash, make sure that it's comfortable around other animals. Kids in strollers are welcome. We have a lot of families that come out, and everyone gets to run and have fun, and everyone gets a T-shirt, everyone gets goodie bags, so they get to take something home from them for doing good work for the cause.
That's good.
So.
I heard you had rain last year.
Yeah, I got up at about 5 o'clock to start for prep, and I just started to hear the droplets outside.
Oh, no.
And you're like,
Not what you want to hear when you're organizing an event.
No, but we still had more than 550 people show up of our 650 runners, so they hung out in the rain. They laughed and they ran and they had fun, and we got lucky. But this year there won't be any rain. We've already checked.
No, we're not. And we've had enough snow, so that's gone. There'll be no rain. It'll be perfect weather outside.
Exactly.
But they're a tough bunch, obviously. So
yeah.
They'll take whatever,
It's April 11th is the date of the race, and sometimes that is 70 degrees and sunny, so that's kind of what we're hoping for.
It sounds like the time for perfect weather. Really important cause. You're helping with the Bay. If you don't run, you can walk. You can dance to the DJ. You can bring your dog. You can bring your family. This sounds like an amazing event, Molly. If people want to sign up or they want to hear more about the event, where should we direct them?
It's $30 to register to attend. We have a rate for students as well, which is $10 registration fee. If you go to cbtrust.org and do /5K for the Bay, it'll take you directly to the registration page.
Perfect. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
If you're not able to make the event, you should go out there and buy a Treasure Chesapeake license plate.
Yeah, get your license plate, Chris.
I need to get one, and I'm being a little hypocritical here, but if they're making me get one, you can get one too.
Absolutely.
They look great on your car. They really do.
I love mine, but you raise a good point. If you can't do the race, go ahead and donate.
And if you take it to CarMax, they'll give you $1,000 more on your trade-in. No, I'm just kidding. They don't do that. They won't do that.
I should maybe work with them on that. That might help.
Well, thank
Molly, thank you so much for coming on the show today. This sounds like a lot of fun. You make it a point to come out to 5K for the Bay. We'll be right back with more Week in Review right after this.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Welcome back. One of the biggest historical events in local history was the moment when George Washington gave up the chance to lead the nation as a military general. Our own Michelle Corkadel is at the Maryland State House with Elaine Rice-Bachman of the Maryland State Archives to talk about an exhibit you won't want to miss. Michelle?
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be with you today, Elaine. We're actually standing here, and correct me if I'm not, in front of George Washington's resignation speech that he provided to the Congress here in this very building many, many years ago. Please tell us more.
Yes, he came to Annapolis in December of 1783, specifically to resign to Congress. He was giving over the military power to the civilian authority. When he got to town, he wasn't exactly sure what Congress would expect of him. When he was informed that there would be a ceremony, he then sat down to write a speech. So what we have is unusual for Washington, a handwritten draft of a speech, because he only wrote it a couple of days before he was delivering it. And this is actually the single piece of paper that he wrote on, carried himself into the old Senate chamber, read to Congress, and then handed over to a member of Congress. It remained in that person's family until 2007 when the archives acquired it.
And I understand there's much more work going on in this very building to commemorate George Washington and our original Congress. Is that correct?
Yes, right now we're completing the 18th century portion of our visitor experience master plan that will include 2 rooms of exhibits about Congress and Washington's resignation, and finally the old Senate chamber restored as it appeared in 1783.
That's fascinating. You know, I'd love to bring my kids down here. Can you give us more details about how not just my family, but other families could come down and see about this history that's living right here in Annapolis?
Of course. The State House is a public building open to everyone every day from 8:30 to 5 p.m. This document is right here in the rotunda for all to see. The old Senate chamber rooms will open within the next couple of weeks, and so please come. It's a free experience, a historical experience for the whole family.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Elaine.
You're welcome.
And good luck on your renovations. Back to the studio.
Thanks, Michelle. Okay, Chris, Mr. Farmer, it's academic champion.
Every episode.
Have we brought this up before?
Carolyn did last week.
Oh,
You missed
okay,
it.
well, I missed it.
It's
I missed
okay.
it. See, now it's my turn. I have some trivia questions for you about George Washington. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What year did Washington resign his commission?
1777?
We're really close. I'll give you another chance.
78. 76?
83. 1783. Well, you got the 17 part.
If it wasn't for the FCC, I would have said some other words there.
No, what year did the Maryland State House first open for business?
1760 something?
No.
These are all numbers. This is not fair.
17. All right, let me rephrase the question.
All right.
1779 was when this establishment first opened.
Arby's.
Very good. Nailed it. Nailed it. What time frame was Annapolis the capital of the United States?
So I'm going to assume this was during the War of 1812. So I'm going to say 1812 to 1813.
I'm going to assume you're wrong. It's 1783 to 1784.
Mr. Kavanagh, Mr. Johnson, all my history teachers, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm going to go home and do my homework now.
Lots of gold stars for you, buddy.
not as many gold stars as the Oscar winners this
That's
weekend,
right.
but
That's right. Did you watch the Oscars?
I was on a ski trip, so I
You're
didn't.
always skiing.
It's that time of year. I've got to. I
You
got
need to
make
watch
the
some
most
stuff
of it.
so we can banter about it.
Well, you know, I did fall and got a good video of it. So
Gosh, we'll have to turn that in and see if it gets best
We're
fall
not
at the
putting that on the
Oscars.
show, but you know, anyway.
Well, have you heard of any of the results from the Oscars? Do you have any comments you want to make?
I think American Sniper should have gotten a lot more awards.
I think definitely due to the subject matter, a lot of people would probably agree with you.
Yeah, and not only that, the popularity of it can't be denied. I just feel like a lot of those people are sitting in a room saying, hey, you know, who are we going to pick this time? Not actually paying attention to what people like me and you want.
Well, it's true, but if you definitely got the show, you noticed how they kept saying that it was the highest grossing film for the year. So at least it got those honors. We know it made the most money, which really is what everyone's concerned about, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that was all great about the red carpet, but one of my favorite moments of the night, well, I had two. First was John Legend and Common coming out and performing Glory from oh my God, Selma, the movie Selma. That was fantastic. They had a bridge, they had a gospel choir. It was amazing. It was huge, bigger than life. But then, Be Still My Heart, the Lady Gaga. She came out and killed it with her Sound of Music tribute. I don't think anyone was expecting that, and it was just incredible. She was just basic in white, little bit of makeup, blonde hair, but her voice was gorgeous, Chris.
Did the hills come alive?
The hills came alive with the sounds of Gaga.
With the sounds of Gaga.
That's definitely what it was, and it was just announced today that she will be starring in next season's American Horror Story.
And, you know, depending on who you ask, she is America's Horror Story.
Whoa,
so
I don't know about that.
I'm just kidding. I didn't even watch it. I just, you know, I didn't know what to say. I got nervous. I just, you know.
But everyone looked fabulous. There seemed to be a lot of red this year. But what I really liked—
A lot of red here, too.
A lot of red here. What I really liked is they had a campaign going where they actually asked the women on the red carpet what charities and what causes they were promoting, rather than just, what are you wearing?
That's good.
So that was really great.
Get away from the material stuff.
Yeah. So I thought that was very cool and speaks a lot about how we're moving forward with just not being concerned about fashion.
Yeah. It's starting to warm up. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
It's been really cold outside. I got a confession to make.
Okay.
I'm wearing long johns
oh my gosh.
underneath my suit, but trust me, I have been warm and cozy all day long. But you know, stay warm out there, folks.
Thanks for sharing your long johns, Chris Casey.
And that's not going to make the show. But this wraps up this week's edition of Week in Review. You can watch this episode and archived episodes online anytime on Facebook, YouTube, or Google Plus by searching Arundel TV. Please tune in again next week for more highlights and news from around the county. We'll see you next time.
And your long johns.
And my long johns.